two aspects have always dominated my life, my experience, for as long as I can remember. And these two pillars have played such an integral role in my life and how it's shaped me, my experience, and my journey. I don't think I chose them per se. I feel more like kind of they chose me, or it found me, or somehow we came together on common ground. Let me kind of explain to the best of my ability here. Over time, I came to realize that there were some common themes that played out for me throughout my life experience so far. These two aspects, these two pillars, always captured my attention immediately. This is the best way that I know how to explain and express conceptually for others how I came into being and kind of where I'm at today. Here is the hows and the whys of how I have connected such dots and how they've kind of integrated themselves within me and my experience. So for me personally, the mind, the brain, the psyche has forever dominated my interests ever since I was a little girl. For as long as I can remember, I always pondered the question of why. And it may sound very simple contextually, but I do urge you to look at the bigger picture and other concepts that will integrate into this a little bit later, okay? So, I always wanted to understand why everything in life, and I'm referring to 5 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old. Every moment of my life was constantly about why. And not just why, like on kind of like irrelevant things, but yes, also on irrelevant things. But it was really mostly on things that really pressed the envelope, that pushed the envelope. And I was really small, too small to really understand the kind of things I was asking. And unfortunately, I really didn't have people around me, family, as a little kid, to really kind of foster and nurture that aspect. In fact, it was almost kind of frowned upon. It looked, or it came across as almost disrespectful that I would question like religion and life at such early ages to people who had such deep faith. So that's why I think it's important that I make that statement, because it's been part of my life and it's been part of how I've evolved as a person. So I've always wanted to understand why. It almost plagued me, honestly. There was moments where I wish I didn't question things, but I really couldn't help who I was. It was just innate. It was like a driving force, and I really mean this. It was a driving force in my personality, and it still is today. It plays a very integral role. And I will explain how this all comes together. I was deeply interested as a child to figure things out, but not just small things, not just about like how Legos would come together or smaller pieces. I wanted to know how life worked. I wanted to know how this entire earth came together and how people were existing and why we were here. From a very little age, I was almost tormented with questions like why I was existing and what was my purpose. And I know we've all faced those questions at one point or another, but there's a distinction, a very big distinction. When you are born from small awareness and you are asking yourself, you're asking your own self this question as a little kid, why are you here and what is your purpose at like 5 and 8 and 10 and 12? And it never leaves you. It's constantly in your conscious and in your subconscious. Yeah, that's different in my personal opinion. I'm not here to compare myself. I'm just here to share my personal story that's real to me. So there was so much that I wanted to know and learn and understand that I really couldn't get the adequate answers on. And, you know, I accepted that early in life, I wasn't going to get the adequate information I was seeking from mentors or teachers or parents or family. It didn't mean that I was going to like be discouraged and not ask. I just knew that they would not have my answers really quickly. Like, I'm referring to like age 8 years old. I knew my parents and the teachers and the people that I would look up to were not going to have my answers. And it's kind of scary at that point because you're so small and you're kind of still developing at a very young, early age in life. But you also know that you're going to get the answers. And it may take some time at a small age in your life. You don't really know where the information will come from or how or when. But you're not going to dismiss those burning questions that will not escape you. Even if I wanted to put on the back burner, I could probably subside them, but they would never just disappear. They're gonna still be there waiting and looking and searching and like in my awareness. And so I think that's a very big distinction compared to maybe other people who have this experience. Again, I do not know other people's experiences, but I have had lots of discussions and I have never met anybody like me where they just have this like burning desire and it will not subside. No matter what I do, a question that I've always had from very little was, what is this physical life's purpose? And I did not know how that would manifest. And really, for many, many years, I would say up until very recently, have I come into a full circle of conclusion and a circle of, you know, encompassing and embodying all the information that I've come into being and knowing, that I know the purpose, the real purpose. We all have many purposes here. Like, you know, sometimes it's to, you know, be a great sister, a good wife, a good mother, a good parent, you know, a good sibling, a good worker. It could be being a good citizen. And there's a little bit deeper layers of that too. You know, you can contribute in different ways and play your part in the community and society, and your contribution and your voice matters. Yes. And there's also higher levels and deeper levels, more complexity here that will not be just easily understood. It will take time, not because you don't know yourself. I believe that people who are on this track, on this trajectory, they know themselves. They've been working at themselves. They've been peeling back the layers little by little. They can't escape themselves. They want to. It's like it's a process that's just inevitable. It's evolution, it's consciousness, it's humanity, it's integration, and it's continuity. It's continual. And so in this case, I am speaking on a different wavelength. So I hope that's kind of clear for a little bit here. But I want to make that distinction. It's important so that people who are hearing this story are understanding the wavelength that I'm communicating on.